Olympic Games and all that stuff too.
And we're live.
All right, we're live. Here we are. Christmas break's over. That's it. Here we are again. Thanks for joining us live. And sorry about the late start right there. We got people all over the place. I'm the only guy that stays in the same place at all times. If you guys notice, it's kind of sad. But again, Bolt Crew Podcast, Dave Pele, Josh Pele, Mario Heron, get ready for the Charger game. It is this Saturday. It's a Saturday game, 10 a.m. in the morning Pacific time, as the Chargers head to the East Coast to take on the New England Patriots. Again, right now, when you look at this team, meaning the Chargers taking on the Patriots, and I say this team, I'm going to ask you about the Patriots right off the bat. Are you concerned? Are you concerned at all about the direction they're going, that they're getting better? They have a quarterback that they're pleased with. Not a lot of talent on the roster, first-year head coach. Is this a game that the Chargers overall need to be concerned about? Or is this one where you go in and say, we're just going to finish out the season healthy the best we can and head into the postseason?
You know, when I watched the Patriots play against the Bills, I thought maybe this isn't going to be a cakewalk like I anticipated. Drake May's pretty good. And Mario's been telling us since he was at North Carolina, watch out for Drake May. And Dave and I laughed. He sucks. None of the quarterbacks from North Carolina are any good. But he's not bad, Mario. And I think you called this first. I'm not saying the Patriots are going to beat the Chargers, but I think the game might be a lot closer than a lot of us anticipated.
I think the Bills kind of game caught everyone by surprise, right? Because everyone thought they're going to get smoked. There's a lot of, rumors around. Is Jared Mayo going to be back next year? Are they going to fire him? Is Mike Vrabel going to come in and kind of get the band back together, get McDaniels over there as the OC and just kind of reinvent the Patriot way just with Mike Vrabel at the head? I don't think it's a bad idea for him if they want to go that route. But like you said, man, I think the worry is Drake May and, what can he do against this Charger defense? Can he keep building, performance that he's had the past couple of weeks? That's the worry. But at the same time, Dave, this team also might be 1-2-3 Cancun right now. Like you're in week 17. You're really losing for draft position at this point. Like, what does this team have to play for? And in that Bills game, that's a divisional game. You get up for that. Are you really going to get up to face Jim Harbaugh and the Los Angeles Chargers?
Yeah, again, you just talk about there's no guarantee you're going to be invited back next year, right? Whether you're a coach or if you're a player, you have to coach and have to play like your job is on the line. Someone's going to look at your film to see if you have an off switch. Did you turn it off? Now, at the same time, people say, well, you can't control a loss like, what the Raiders went through. We'll get into that, I'm sure, during the show. But for the players, if you're on the field, you have to do the best you can. You never know what the circumstances are. I mean, how many big name players are there on the Patriots? So you can kind of maneuver it a little bit if you're New England and saying, these are the guys we want on the field, guys we know aren't going to get the job done to set things up. I'll be honest with you. If I was the GM, if I was the owner, 100%, I would say, let's make this sure that, we are not winning this game. It sounds really bad to say in professional sports, but this is really the future of your franchise, of where you're going to pick in the draft. And you look how many teams have been poor this year. We've discussed it before that, look, the NFL is designed for every team to go 500, but there's so many teams that are rock bottom that even if you're rock bottom, you're picking still like number 7 or 8 or 9 in this draft. It's not your traditional, we got a top 5 pick. So for the Patriots, yeah, I wouldn't try and screw this thing up by beating the Chargers, but at the same time, for Jim Harbaugh, he wants to see his guys ramping up too, right? He wants to see those guys going in the right direction. You don't want to be in a situation where you're the Texans or you're the Steelers and you're your worst football heading into the postseason. You want to be playing your best football. There's always something the Chargers can work on. For the Patriots, you mentioned the head coach getting fired. I'm not a big fan of firing a head coach after 1 year, unless, you've lost the locker room completely. Like there's a lot of talk that Patriots coach is gone, the Tennessee coach is gone. From what I've seen, it's not a situation where it's the coach's fault. It's 100% the talent and the players that are around that head coach. Now, give the guy an opportunity to see if he can succeed or not. You chose him to be your head coach. Why would you get rid of him? What does that say about you and giving him the job in the first place for you to fire him after 1 year?
I think the Patriots organization is completely overrated. You have Tom Brady, who won with the Buccaneers, right? A franchise that everybody made fun of because they couldn't win. And then he goes over there, he wins. With the Patriots, they weren't any good without him. And they haven't been good without Tom Brady. Even Bill Belichick couldn't win before Tom Brady and after Tom Brady. When we look at this game, Mario, against this Patriots team, we've said it all along for the last few years. The roster is bad. They haven't had a good roster in a very long time. The one thing that would concern me the most when you play a team like the New England Patriots would be the weather, right? Because you're going down, or you're going up, I guess, to Massachusetts to play in Foxborough. It's actually going to be the warmest day in the next 7 days on Sunday. It's going to be 50. Yeah, it's going to be a whole 52 degrees with a low 47, 57% chance of rain. Well, I mean, you laugh at that, but right now it's 15 degrees in Foxborough. So it's better for us. That's going to be high 40s, low 50s. I think Gus Edwards not playing this game, Trey Pipkins not playing this game is something you also need to look at. We could also look at it, Mario, as a positive, right? Because Trey Pipkins not playing is an opportunity for another guy like Jamari Sawyer or somebody else that's going to fill that role. If J.K. Dobbins can play this weekend, I don't know his status, but if he's to play this weekend, that's obviously a huge upgrade. So I'm not concerned much with the weather or the injuries. I'm more concerned with, is this team going to be the team that we saw a few days ago, or is it going to be the team that, the Chargers have shown where they just get their doors blown off like the Buccaneers or the Raiders last year? I think those games are behind us. I know the Buccaneers was recent, but I can't see the Chargers laying an egg when you have a guy like Jim Harbaugh at the helm.
Pretty annoying, too, that the Buccaneers, after doing that to us just the next week, just put up a freaking nothing burger. Right. Against the Cowboys, and you're like, all right, really? Like that's the game you're just gonna let go? You're going to the Jerry's World and just crap the bed? Thanks for nothing, pal. I think if there's any week where you can have a couple injuries to your offensive line and to get to Patriots, they're second worst in the league in team sacks. So not going to put the pressure on you. The only time they kind of really got in a team's face was the Chicago Bears, and that's because they had high school players on their O-line because they were just so defeated at that position, literally 1 through 5 right there. If Pickens is out, that's tough, but I feel pretty comfortable that Herbert can still have time to throw. Let's just make sure you give him that and he stays up and healthy. I think it's a game, guys, that Chargers honestly dominate. Like you said, the weather, I know it's not glorious, but it's the best we'll ever get in Massachusetts. There's not like a fear anymore going in there, Dave. Like this is the most confident I've been in a game all season. Like I think they storm over the Pats.
I hope that's the case. All right, so I'm gonna give you what I have on my weather, Josh. I don't know where
I said from. Sunday. I meant Saturday. It's basically the same thing.
Okay, I'm literally now. If Apple knows what they're doing, I'm looking at Gillette Stadium weather right now.
All right, what do you got?
Saturday, it says 27 to 42 degrees. What did you say?
27 to 42. The game's at 10 in the morning. It says at nighttime it's going to be cold, but during the day it shouldn't be that bad.
Okay, well I'm saying the high is 42.
Yeah, by kickoff. By kickoff, it'll be
literally
35
says
probably.
Gillette Stadium. It says 27 to 42 degrees during the day, 75% chance of rain.
Not great. Okay, fine. I was wrong. Not great.
Not great.
Not great, Bob.
Not great. Okay, the weather's not great. All right. Is everybody scared now? You guys scared because of the weather? I'm not scared. All right. Jalen Polk, does he scare you? Does that guy scare you on that team? I'm not scared.
Nobody scares me on that team. No, I'm with you guys. I feel comfortable with the win. That's not what I'm telling you. I'm just saying it might not be a bad thing either, right? Wouldn't you rather face a team in bad weather when it's to kind of, as you say, get used to it? Because as Mario says, everyone has the reputation in California being soft. What if you have to go to Buffalo in a few weeks? What if you have to go to Pittsburgh? Maybe this is a let's get ready for the weather game. Not where it's not that mind shock. And we don't need to see guys warm up with their shirts off. It's the dumbest thing ever. I have no idea why guys do that. You don't even get points for that. What are you doing? Why do guys do that? It's so strange to me, but whatever. We don't need to see. It doesn't affect us. We all know what cold is. You're a human being. Don't be stupid. Put your goddamn shirt on. Walk around with a hoodie, whatever. Have the hand warmers in your pocket. You don't need to tell anybody. You're getting ready for a game. All that matters is what happens in those 60 minutes, and that's all we care about. Yeah, I do feel comfortable going in. I see people on the side in the chat saying trap game. You guys are jinxing them. We aren't jinxing anything. Look, they're going to take care of business. This is what Harbaugh lives for, right? You take care of business. And right now, whether they face, and we'll get into possible playoff teams, but whether you face the Ravens, the Bills, the Steelers, the Texans, this team's going to be ready to play their best football. The biggest question about the Chargers is how healthy will they be going into the postseason?
Yeah, that's the big question. Yeah, go ahead, Mario.
Big question. By the way, I kind of disagree with you on the shirts off. Ball four.
You like the Of course you would be.
I love
this.
This
is coming from a guy who got his ass kicked by a father on Christmas Day, which I'm extremely disappointed by.
Okay, first off, he went to sleep before I could get revenge, and he was holding his kids. So it's very hard to take advantage in that situation. But yeah,
he beat you up while he was holding his kids.
No, I was walking. We have there's a walking pad. I was walking around. I just murdered some food, and he gave me a little nudge. And by the way, if you've never been on those before, if you get a little nudge, you're gone, dude. It doesn't. Especially after you had a couple pops, you decide let's get on there, let's start moving. It's pretty harder than you think. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. That's all I'm gonna say. But by the way, Pat's lost 5 in a row, and these losses have been close. Besides the Dolphins game, really, it's been between 1 touchdown or 2 touchdown scores. I just think if you're constantly in those close battles and you're falling short, who's to say that on a Saturday game on a little bit short of rest, coming off of Christmas, where you're going, dude, I just want this season to be over. That's what that whole locker room's thinking. I just want to be done. We've lost 5 in a row. We suck. And this is probably, and Josh, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is probably the first team where we have the better receiving core.
Oh
yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Their best receivers are tight end. Their best receiver is Hunter Henry. We kicked the
we're
curve.
better at
tight end too.
They are. Yeah, I don't know a position that we aren't better than with them. First time all year. We'll take their roster over that roster.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
The best player on the offense is Ramondre Stevenson, right, Mario?
Yeah.
You'd say. I mean, that's the real threat on that team. I guess Hunter Henry, but we have Derwin James to lock him up.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, May's your best player, but Stevenson is kind of like your go-to guy. But I mean, Drake May is a good talent, but he's like any rookie QB. If you put a little bit of pressure on him and his receivers don't get any separation, just make sure you keep him inside the pocket, and he's not gonna be able to do anything. He's not a miracle worker yet. Someone had a great comment. I didn't start it, but it's like Justin Herbert versus Justin Herbert light, and I thought that was a pretty pretty funny comparison right there.
Dude, I'll say it. Go ahead.
Yeah, go
ahead, Josh.
I think Drake May is better than I thought he was going to be so far. He's also 1 touchdown, 1 interception per game, basically, at this point. You shouldn't lose to any quarterback that averages 1 touchdown and 1 interception a game that has no running game, really. I mean, that's just they can't generate points, is what I'm trying to say. The New England Patriots should not be able to generate enough points to beat the Chargers with the defense that we have.
No, you're correct on that. I'd say I'm amazed by this draft class. We've seen it almost every single week, but this draft class, again, these guys have been incredible. Even Michael Penix finally got a chance to play and look great, right? I mean, it's really one of these draft classes I think you're going to look back on and go, boy, that 2024 draft was as good as they ever had in the NFL. So many good players and so many guys young have stepped up and been important. I'll tell you right now, looking at that division alone, who would you take? Be honest. Would you take Drake May as your quarterback or Aaron Rodgers? You take May. Aaron Rodgers is the worst quarterback in that division. My point is, if you put May with the talent that the Jets have, maybe it's not a 1-for-1 changeover. You see what I'm saying? If you actually give him a little bit of talent around him, maybe May's even better than what he's shown so far.
I think if you look at the weapons, it would be Panthers and Patriots as the very bottom, right? They're the same team, basically. I mean, they have nobody to throw the ball to. There's Adam Thielen, and then there's Hunter Henry, right? And then you have Ramondre Stevenson and Hubbard. There's just kind of the same team. They're awful. There's a lot of things that happened, Mario, recently, and we haven't done a show in about 7 days. So there's a few things I want to touch on before we pick some games. The first thing I want to touch on is the games from yesterday, right? There's a unique scenario where we had 4 AFC playoff teams playing on the same day. I mean, that never happens, right? Where it's just all teams in the AFC that are going to make the playoffs. 2 of those teams are not very good. And I'll admit that I was wrong. I thought the Steelers were going to put up a fight yesterday, considering the Chiefs had played 3 games in 10 days. That game was over from the beginning. Like there was never a game there. And then the Ravens and Texans was not even a contest. Like Lamar Jackson, if anybody watched that game yesterday, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Lamar Jackson didn't even put his pants on. Like the guy did nothing and he scored 3 touchdowns. Like that game was so out of control. You're thinking, how the hell are the Texans a playoff team? But they're in the worst division in the NFL. What are your thoughts from those games yesterday? Because the Chargers are obviously going to play one of those teams that we saw. What's your impression, Mario?
Pray to God that we somehow face the Steelers in the first round because that team's an absolute zero. Like they're just not. I think they've hit the limit of what they can be, And now we're seeing, the cracks in the team. We're seeing that Russell Wilson is still Russell Wilson of last year from the previous year before that. If you don't get up on a team, if the defense is not causing turnovers every 5 seconds, he's not going to be able to do anything for you. We saw that George Pickens is still not, there mentally in the football game. He has a, costly offsides. They has a, freak out after it. You go, wow, that's your number one receiver. And he was supposed to be back in this game. That was supposed to be a turning point. And you just really fall short in that. I looked at that game, Dave, and I was just very unimpressed. And I was thinking that's a team that doesn't make it out of the first wild card weekend. That team's gone. And I think same thing for the Texans too. They have injuries to that receiving core, and then they don't even look at Nico Collins. Joe Mixon's been a very good running back for them all season. They just completely go away of the run game and just make Stroud, who's having a really bad sophomore slump, try to get you out of that game and try to win that thing for you. That's just not going to happen, man. Both teams got outclassed, and both teams are, let's be honest, like just gifts to play in the first round of the playoffs. Like if the Chargers get Titans or Steelers, I know
Texans.
not Titans, Texans or Steelers. Texans would be harder to get. I mean, literally, go ahead and buy your tickets for the next, round. Like it's going to be quick.
That's what I want, right? I mean, that's what I'm hoping for. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I would take either one of those teams right now. The Steelers have been kind of shocking. You just don't expect to see a Mike Tomlin team all of a sudden fall on its face week after week and losing by more than 10 points. I mean, in the NFL, you don't lose by more than 10 points. But the Steelers continue to be embarrassed. And Josh talks about identity. If you're a Steelers fan or if you're on that team, what is your identity? You're completely lost. You're starting to panic. This is where guys start to point fingers and can't feel comfortable. The Texans are one of the biggest surprises right now. Of course, they're going to make the postseason because they're in the worst division going. But it's unbelievable to see how bad they are playing. I mean, here's Netflix that says, hey, we're going to get an NFL game, and you have those two games. I mean, how quickly are you saying I'm walking away from the TV, or changing the channel to the NBA, anything? Those were terrible games, absolutely terrible. So for the Chargers, I like the way things look right now. If we can get one of them, if I could prefer to take one, I would still take the Texans over the Steelers. I still want another crack at the Chiefs. People might think I'm crazy. The two teams in the AFC that scare me a little bit that are Buffalo and the Ravens. The Ravens right now, I think a lot of teams should be frightened on what the Ravens are doing. As Josh said, it looked like it wasn't even their best effort, yet they just completely rolled the Texans. No problem at all.
They didn't even try. Like, honestly, it looked like the Ravens were just messing around and wasn't even close. There's something else that I want to bring up, Mario, and call me crazy if you think I'm crazy here. I put it on Twitter for anybody that follows us at Bolt Crew Pod on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. I think the Chargers are going to trade for Garrett Wilson in the offseason. That's just what I think. I think it makes a lot of sense for the Chargers to make that trade. He would be wide receiver one to go with Lad McConkey, would change the entire offense. And the Jets need to get rid of him, right? He doesn't want to be there. If you can give up, and some people are going to hate this, a second-round pick for Garrett Wilson, I think it's worth it. He's made the most with the least his entire time with the Jets. What do you think about the Chargers possibly trading for Garrett Wilson?
Let's check his Madden rating, send it to Woody Johnson, and say, buddy, this is not high enough. I would be all for the trade. And I think the part that kind of helps with it is, this organization that's been very clear. They want to, don't want to get older. They want to just stay young and keep building. Garrett Wilson's a very young NFL player. He still has a lot to give to this league. He has been, like you said, kind of screwed over in tough situations. He's had one of the worst play callers the past year and a half, trying to get him involved in this offense. He has a quarterback that just looks at Devontae Adams and almost no one else, and everyone else he just waves hi to or takes ashwagandha, whatever the hell it is with them. I'd be all for it, Dave. And it's, you're taking advantage of an organization that is kind of stuck in the kind of purgatory. And I think that this offseason, what it seems like is that they're going to go for the full tank and kind of a little hard reset because this era is clearly done. I'm for it, man. If you're able to get Garrett Wilson at a price of just a second rounder, which, by the way, he should be valued higher, I think it's pretty good for him.
I'd love to see Garrett Wilson here. I see in the chat there's some people don't want Garrett Wilson. I don't know why you wouldn't. Garrett Wilson's one of the better wide receivers in this league. I mean, Aaron Rodgers doesn't have it. He sure as hell didn't give him any confidence of saying, I got to get him the ball. He was demanding trades for Devontae Adams. But Garrett Wilson, I think, with Justin Herbert, Jim Harbaugh, I think would be a great fit. I think he needs a fresh start as well. He is a guy that has to be disgruntled of the way things have worked out so far with his time with the Jets. Sorry.
I know it gets you emotional, right? Garrett Wilson talk.
I
What's
did.
You're
Started to cry
emotional.
and sneeze at the same time.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. I get emotional when I talk about it. Garrett Wilson's going to have his third straight 1,000-yard season to start his career. Keep in mind, that's with Zach Wilson and that's with Aaron Rodgers, who brought in Devontae Adams to say, hey, Garrett Wilson he's not enough. We need Devontae Adams. How did that work out, Aaron? You suck. So there's people here that are saying, Ryan says, how do we know Garrett Wilson is going to fit? Dude, Garrett Wilson is one of those guys you plug in on any team in the NFL. It's going to work. You just need a quarterback to get him the ball. We have that person in Justin Herbert. If you could add a Garrett Wilson type receiver with Ladd McConkey, and you have the running game, hopefully next year, if we can bring back J.K. Dobbins, I think that's just one of the better offenses in the NFL alone. Right there, we have the awesome tackles, fix our interior line of free agency in the draft. Now we're talking Mario. We know that Joe Ortiz is going to spend money. We're just curious to where he's going to spend it. Besides Garrett Wilson, is there anybody else you have on the top of your mind, maybe a possible trade that you've thought of? Is there anything in the offseason you're predicting here?
I mean, obviously, I think the big name to think about is just T. Higgins. Just because, he's the hot commodity, and Bengals, we know, don't pay guys. And it's very clear that Chase is going to be preferred over Higgins because of his history with Burrow. And let's be honest, Chase is just kind of a better receiver. But if you need a possession guy and we need a guy that's going to go get the football and a guy that can, win over top in the end zone, like we need that in T. Higgins. That's just a name that right away pops out to me. I'm interested to see just what we kind of get in the renters market in terms of pass rushers. I feel like, Dave, that's something that they're going to have to do, like a Leonard Floyd type where he comes in for a couple seasons. Is he, going to give you, top 3 in the league in sacks? No. But guess what? He's going to come up pretty big on a couple plays. He's going to give you probably about 7 to 8 sacks this year. And then you're going to be pretty happy with what you got. And then he's on to his next team. He's a journeyman. And that's, pretty fine. It's a pretty great career. I'd kill for that career. That sounds pretty nice. But I just looking forward to that. I think that's just something I would keep an eye out on. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to this weekend, though, Dave, against the Pats. Because win against the Pats still means something. Still gets your you-know-what up in the morning.
I like the way the schedule plays out for the Chargers. They're in a great situation. Again, playing the Patriots, playing the Raiders. I like the way the schedule sets up. Again, a little momentum heading into the postseason. Right now, it's to me, it's all about injuries and which things are going to fall the right way for them. Real quick on the guys you just mentioned, we'll find out what Joe Ortiz is made of during the offseason. We'll have plenty of time to talk about it as well. T. Higgins is going to get more money than he even deserves because there's so many teams that are going to want him. So many teams that can use him. He's going to be a guy that's going to get paid through the roof. And if that works out for the Chargers, great. But he's an outstanding player. I don't know if he's, considered, the elite of elite, the Justin Jeffersons, the Jamar Chases. But when we saw him against the Chargers, man, he was impressive. So we'll see what happens there. I want to ask you this because just staying inside the division, because one, you know what I'm going to say. I've been
wanting to talk about this.
Okay.
Yeah, this is awesome. Dude,
What
made my week.
What happened in the Raider Jacksonville game the other day was so crazy to me. It was so crazy because you had the number 1 pick. You were set up for the number 1 pick. You were going to get your franchise quarterback. One thing about the AFC West, every team's going to the postseason, right? What do they all have in common? They all have their big-time coach and they all have their big-time quarterback. The Raiders have neither. So if you were sitting there telling Mike Vrabel, hey, this is the place you have to come. We're going to have the first overall pick. You're going to have a franchise quarterback. You have an owner that loves you. You're going to have a chance to succeed. All of a sudden, that job isn't even a great job anymore. That Raider job is a disaster of a job. Max Crosby's talked about being traded every single week. Oh, do I want to be traded? Do I want to be here? It is a complete disaster. And so when you see that the Giants all of a sudden are on schedule to get the number 1 pick, fine. The meme of Antonio Pierce wearing his Giants uniform saying still helping the Giants out after all these years is exactly right. But Raider fans, to watch the people screaming and cussing and walking around, it is a big damn deal. They lost their franchise quarterback. The Raiders are on pace right now to probably sign Kirk Cousins, who's garbage, and then not be good for at least another 5 years. That's like 25 years of being garbage. You have 3 teams in this division, all have guys. Mahomes, Hall of Famer, right? Justin Herbert's getting better every single year, and Bo Nix is the truth. So if you're the Raiders, you completely effed yourself by beating Jacksonville the other day in such a meaningless game.
It was awesome. It was great. I watched it. I couldn't believe what I was watching, Mario. I was so happy that the Raiders won this game. I don't think Shadur Sanders is one of those guys that's going to come in and take over the league, but I definitely think he's the best quarterback in the draft. And the fact that the Raiders screwed this up so bad put the biggest smile on my face. I don't even know who they're projected to get now. Who cares, right? You're not going to get Travis Hunter. You're not going to get Shadur Sanders. You're not even going to get Cam Ward from Miami.
Nope.
It is awesome. I really hope that Dion gets upset that his kid goes to the Giants and they do to them what Eli Manning's family did to us, right? As Charger fans, that would be great to see too, because I know he wanted his kid to go to the Raiders. But it was great. And my dad has a friend who is a Raider fan who was happy.
Was that the game? Was that the game?
Yeah,
he
wanted the Raiders to win. Idiot. What are we doing? Yeah, it's the worst win in the Raiders' history. Literally, the worst win of not, you know what I mean? It was a horrible win.
You're right.
Like,
You're absolutely right.
You back years and years and years. As a Charger fan, you had to be ecstatic.
Like the fact that they could have gotten first and now they're sixth right now. How insane is that? And by the way, this is a class. It's not like last year's class when like it was just QB deep, where it kind of felt like at one point, like I don't know if you could really go wrong with who you kind of draft. Obviously, some guys have their downside, but like it could be really good. It feels like in this class, if you don't have Shadur Sanders, who's I bet gonna be good, but like I agree with Josh, I don't think he's gonna take the world by storm. Then congratulations, you got kicked in the nuts. Like you're doing another. Yeah, you're doing another bridge year QB. Like that's the situation they're probably going to find themselves in. And then if you want to move up, trade Max Crosby. And also, are any of these teams going to take Max Crosby? Maybe the Jags will. But does that seem like a Jags move? Does that seem like a Jags move? Not really. Not at all. Like you said, who's going to take that job? Who wants it? What report have we seen, by the way, of, hey, this coach is really interested in that job? Because I don't know about you guys, but I haven't seen it. I've seen Patriots. I've seen Chicago, but boy, have I not seen the Raiders. I'd rather take the Saints job than the Raiders job. Like, actually, I think I would.
I probably would too. Dominic Rogers says that the Raiders select Carson Beck. Carson Beck's not going to be ready to play next year. He's not going to be ready to play. I mean, basically, that surgery will probably put him out the entire 2025 season. He's not going to be able to go. It's it's a Raiders problem. But it is tough to talk. Mike Vrabel, I think, is saying this is the place you need to be when you have your choices are basically Kirk Cousins or Aaron Rodgers. Who's your quarterback?
Yeah. Hey, remember when you had
Tom Brady
Brian
put the
Tannehill
uniform back on? Good God,
dude, horrible. This draft is weak, especially for quarterbacks. I thought this last draft that we had in 2024 is an awesome draft. Like Dave said, it's going to be one of those drafts you look back on and say, oh my God, all those guys were in the same year. This upcoming draft, not great. And Carson Beck wasn't good when he was healthy. So I'm just saying the Raiders are going to get Carson Beck. That doesn't mean anything to me. Carson Beck had a very disappointing season. Yeah, it was great. I'm so happy about that win. It was awesome.
I know he's your guy, but like, yeah, what are you going to do? Draft Jalen Milroe? I know he's your guy, but like.
I wouldn't draft Jalen Milroe.
Yeah, try to get him to throw a slant.
Not Lamar Jackson. He's not Lamar Jackson. People keep saying that he's not.
No. He's not.
He couldn't do anything against Oklahoma, dude. He's not the guy.
No,
he's not that guy.
But I tell you what, you put a trash can at the 1 yard line and he stands at the 100. He's gonna get it to it. He's gonna hit that though.
All right, you guys want to pick some games?
Let's do it.
Let's pick some games. We'll get to the questions and everything, of course, in the chat. Then we're going to find out what Mario's family thought about his haircut. I'm kind of curious to know how that rolled over as well. All right, so here's the deal. We picked games yesterday because we didn't have a show on Tuesday, but we did actually do it for real. Josh is the only one that won the first game. Josh had the Chiefs. Mario and I both took the Steelers. Second game, Mario and I both had the Ravens. Josh had the Texans. So again, if you're unaware of what's going on, Josh is basically going to go opposite of me on everything. Okay, because right now there's a punishment for the person who picks third. Last week, guys, Mario, was your worst week of the season, by the way. You were 5-11 last week. You're 130 though, 110 on the season with the spread. Okay, I was 9-7. I'm 120 and 120 on the season. And Josh, you were 7-9, 113, 127 is where you're at. Okay, so you're 7 games behind me with two weeks to go. Got it?
Yep.
Okay, so here we go. We're going to start off Thursday night football. It's the Seattle Seahawks. They're on the road taking on the Chicago Bears. Mario, I'll let you go first.
I love the Seattle in this spot. Absolutely love it. the Bears aren't playing for anything, and they look at the last couple of games, man. They look like they've given up. Caleb Williams sits on that bench, and it looks like he's dead. Like he literally looks dead. This team is embarrassing. They can't even get the C captain on their guys' jerseys. Joe Johnson was supposed to have a seat, and they couldn't get it to him. Like it's a joke. I love the Seahawks. By the way, Soldier Field's gonna be dead, deader than dead.
All right, I'm good with Mario. Josh, I'm going to take Seattle as well. Played Minnesota extremely tough last week. I know they're on the road this week, but I'm going to take Seattle. They still have something to play for. So, Josh, you're taking the Bears, right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay, next up, I'll go first in this one, Mario. We're going to go Bengals are favored by 3.5 at home against the Denver Broncos. This is a Saturday game. I'm going to take the Bengals favored by 3.5 at home.
Oh God, I love the Broncos in the spot and the hook too. Talk to me, sweetheart. Come on now.
Okay,
Flirt
so
with
Josh,
me, baby.
So Josh has the Broncos as well. We'll get to the Charger Patriots game at the end of the picks. A game for you. It's the Rams. They're favored by 6.5 at home. I'm going to take the Rams. It's a big number, but I think the Cardinals have basically thrown in the towel. So I'm going to go Rams over the Cardinals 6.5.
Give me the Rams too in that one. I think the Cardinals might be dead, like extremely dead, and that hurts because they won me a lot of money.
Yeah, kind of disappointing the way they finished this thing, huh?
Yeah, I can't tell if Gannon's a good coach or not. Every time I think he's a good coach, he like laughs in your face. He goes, "Pretty dumb," you know.
Bills at home. They're favored by 9.5 over the Jets.
Ooh. Well, I'm not going, so go ahead.
I'll take the Bills. I'll take the Bills. It's a big number. I think the Bills wake up from what happened last week.
I like the Bills a lot too. Also, I think Aaron Rodgers, like, there's a chance, I believe, that he might get pulled for like before this game. Yeah, I remember someone saying that.
It's probably Woody Johnson's grandson or whatever. It's kind of crazy. Aaron Rodgers was asked about coming back, and he goes, "Don't ask me. You got to ask, Woody if I'm coming back." I mean, it's pretty uncomfortable what's going on in New York, and I love every minute of it. Josh, you have the Jets. Jags favored by 1 over the Titans. Jags are at home. Again, I've not picked the Titans game correct the entire season, but I'm picking the Titans again this week. So, Mara, where are you going?
I want to go against you so badly in this because I guess Titans. I guess.
Are you really?
Okay. I guess. Also, please, no one watch this game. Don't do that to yourselves. Christmas just happened. Go run. Go take your girl on a date or a guy. Whoever floats your boat.
Here we go. Buccaneers 7.5. They're at home against the Panthers. Who's the better quarterback, Josh? Bryce Young or
Sorry, you cut out. Bryce Young or who?
Baker?
Stroud. Who's the better quarterback?
Oh. Bryce Young's better than CJ Stroud. Thanks for asking.
Yep.
Next.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, 100%.
I think honestly, I think he has shown why he was the number 1 pick. Stroud has been a major disappointment. What is he? What is Stroud?
Okay.
I'm going Panthers, by the way, in this game.
Oh, I keep forgetting you're just doing the opposite. Just real quick, it's against Stroud, throw him a bone in here. A little bit harder of a schedule this year, just throwing him a little bit of a bone.
Come on, dude. He plays in the AFC South.
Dude,
I know. I agree.
Look at his team.
They're loaded. They're loaded.
Okay, but they've been hurt. I'm just trying to throw him a bone. I'm trying to throw him a little something. Hashtag Team Stroud. Yeah. I had enough of this Bama SEC crap. No, I'm kidding. All right,
you going Buccaneers or going Panthers?
I can't figure out this Bucs team. I'm gonna go Panthers. I think you can cover that number because you said 8.5, right?
7.5.
7. Son of a nutcracker. All right, yeah, I'll still take Panthers.
Okay. Next up, it's the Raiders favored by 1.5 against the Saints. I'm taking the Raiders in this game. I
like the Saints. Love the Saints in this spot. Oh yeah, give it to me. Make that. I might watch that one just to for it to be ugly. Hand in the pants. fading in and out, just watching that game, having a good time.
Colts favored by 8, taking on the New York Giants. It's a big number. Mario, what do you say?
The New York Football Giants. Give me the actually, I don't know, because Anthony Richardson is uncertain. Actually, never mind. You have to give me the shoe. give me the Colts. There's a good chance AR might not play.
Yeah, I'm taking the Colts as well. That's funny you say that. All right. Eagles favored by 7.5, taking on the Dallas Cowboys at home. I'm going to go Philadelphia.
I'm with you. I actually love Philly in this game. Absolutely love
Okay.
Philly.
Okay. Josh again has the Cowboys. Dolphins favored by 6 on the road against the Browns. Dolphins never play well in the cold. At the same time, the Browns quarterback situation is ridiculous. I'm going to go with the Dolphins.
I'll go Cleveland then.
Okay.
Mike McDaniels has no idea what play to call in the cold. It's like it's Mike McDaniels. Mike McDaniels is like the state of Texas when it snows. They just have no idea what to do. It's just like, what? Where's the salt? You know what I mean? Like they have no idea. They all have 4-wheel drive, but they don't know that they do. So they just drive like they have, a trailer.
Funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right. This is actually, if I was two games during this week, or 3 games, I would say that I like a lot. I like this game right here. I like the Packers on the road. The Vikings are favored by 1.5.
All right. I need every ancestor that I've ever had in my life. Oh, by the way, key reminder, circle back on ancestors really quick. I got a story at the battle I had on Christmas. But
Okay.
give me the Pack.
You're taking the Pack. All right. That's a great division, by the way. All right, here we go. Commanders. This is a tough game. Commanders at home, favored by 4.5 against Michael Penix and the Falcons. It's a Sunday night football game. I'm gonna go Falcons on this one.
I think I'll take. I think Falcons. Yeah, because you get the comfort of a 3.
Okay. Here we go. Here's the other game that I like a lot that I would gamble if I was gambling. It's the Lions on the road. They're favored by 3.5, taking on the San Francisco 49ers on Monday Night Football.
Absolutely agree with you. I think this is Detroit coming in and just absolute dominating the Niners. The Niners, it's 2020 again for the Niners, where just everything falls apart. And please be dumb. Fire Shanahan. I don't think they will, but please be dumb and fire Shanahan and see where that gets you.
All right, finally, here we go. The game of the day is, again, it's a 10 a.m. kickoff on Saturday. It's the Chargers. They're favored by 4.5. They're at the New England Patriots. I'm taking the Chargers, and I would bet this game right here.
Josh, what do you think?
I was hoping you weren't going to call my name.
Okay, I'm taking the Chargers. What did you say, Jeff?
All right.
I don't want to. I'm gonna pick the opposite of you because I'm gonna continue doing this, but I do think the Chargers are gonna win and cover. I'm gonna pick the opposite because that's what we're doing.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Chargers win and cover. I think it's 20-13. Chargers win.
Ooh, that's a good score. I think they loaded up on offense again. I'm gonna go 27.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go 27-17.
I'm gonna go 24-6 Chargers.
Wow, really?
Yep. I'm gonna go 24-6. I think our defense shows up. Yeah, I'm going that route, and I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go Disley as my offensive guy, and I'm gonna go Derwin James. Easy, I know it is, but I'm going Derwin James as my defensive guy. I think he's going to be a big guy that you're going to see do something amazing.
All right, I'll go. I'm gonna go Josh Palmer. I think he gets a touchdown this game for some reason. I don't know why I think that. And then on defense, if Cam Hart plays, I'm gonna go Cam Hart. I think he's becoming my favorite defender besides Derwin James. So I'm gonna go Cam Hart.
Maybe the year of the Irish, man. It just may be.
I hope not, dude.
I hope not either. I'm never coming back to save Indiana. So for defense, I think it's Thule. Pats will let you put the pressure on him. Just get to him. I know Mac and Bosa we expect a lot, but Tuli, let's get some pressures on Drake May, get a couple sacks. They're going to allow it. Drake May also, as good as he is when he extends plays, he does have a tendency to kind of, like roll himself into a sack. Just make sure you got to get him down when he does it. So I like that for that one. For offense, it's a guy that could be back. J.K. Dobbins. I really, really like him on this matchup. Pats are okay against the run. They can kind of stuff you, but like I said, man, they just had so many close games back to back to back. They did a really good job against Josh Allen last week in terms of the passing game. Let's establish a run, and let's establish a run with our running back one.
Okay.
I like it.
There you go.
All right. Let's go to the chat.
Let's go to the chat.
All right, let's go. First one comes from Matthew Dahl, 499. It says, hope you guys had a good Christmas. I did. Thank you, Matthew. I don't want to hear Stroud's narrative that he's better than Herbert. Anybody that says CJ Stroud's better than Justin Herbert doesn't watch football, period. Like, you're not watching the games because CJ Stroud has been not very good. Justin Herbert has made the most with the least. So I think that's crazy. I agree with you, Matthew.
I mean, what a sophomore slump. I know we've seen it, but like, holy hell, what a slump. That's kind of happened to CJ Stroud. And that, by the way, that team as a whole, like coming this year, Slowick was supposed to be this, like, could be the next like head coach in the making. He got some interviews last season. D'Amico Ryans was this, next hot shot. And Dave, now it's like, were we like a year too early or spoke too soon on all these guys, which is kind of crazy.
What's funny about Bryce Young is that he was available for any team to take when they decided to make the quarterback change, right? If it wasn't for Andy Dalton getting into a car accident, we don't know if Bryce Young would have had a chance to prove himself, right? You thought I was going to make a joke there, didn't you?
I was prepared. That's why I looked away. I was like, we're going to straighten it up.
All right. Hey, let me point this out about Christmas, by the way, okay?
Oh, God.
One is Josh has been in town, meaning he's been in San Diego for 3 major holidays, okay? He was in town for Thanksgiving. Did I spend Thanksgiving with Josh? Nope. He was in town for Christmas Eve. Did I spend Thanksgiving with you, Josh? Nope. He was in town for Christmas. Did I spend Christmas dinner with you, Josh? Nope. How does my kid in town for 3 major holidays? I get a chance to spend one day with him. Like, what the hell? I completely had a jacked up holiday season.
Maybe take the hint.
Doesn't make any sense. He's booking the schedule a little weird on me. All right. Otherwise, I will say this. Josh, by the way, completely went above and beyond, dude, for everybody, man. He was Santa Claus in our family this year. It was very, very generous. I've never seen a person so generous. It was a great Christmas time, though, as far as opening gifts and everything else. But yeah, I didn't get to spend one day with Josh through any of these holidays. Kind of sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. And New Year's Eve are probably not either.
Yeah, New Year's Eve neither.
Yeah, I think the best thing about giving gifts, Mario, is you just got to listen to what people want. So I got Dave a Joey Bosa jersey, and then I got my wife Jasir Taylor, and then I got my mom Easton Stick. So that I just got 3 players that they all love. Just exactly what people wanted for Christmas. All right, next one. This is the best name ever. From Gold Teeth Pooh Productions says, fellas, let's not act like wildcard teams haven't gone all the way, let alone win the Super Bowl. Me personally, I don't care who we play. Let's go bolt up. I understand what you're saying, and that's true, but that doesn't typically happen. And to me, I really care a lot who we play. Specifically, like Dave said, I don't want to play Buffalo, and I really don't want to play Baltimore. Baltimore, to me, looks like the best team in the NFL right now. I think it's so huge, Mario, for the Chargers to play a team like the Texans so they can get that first win for Justin Herbert. I think that's definitely like the monkey on his back, which is the dumbest expression ever, but it's the monkey on his back to finally get a playoff win so we can just end that narrative, that whole conversation that he's not clutch.
With you all the way. The thing I kind of like, though, in the spot that we're in is I feel pretty comfortable in playing a team twice, Dave. It's very hard to beat Harbaugh twice, very hard to beat Herbert twice. And the fact that, Ravens would have to do it or the Steelers, depending on how it goes, I love that kind of feeling. And that's what gives me confidence in the first round is that, second time around, let's go. And if it's somehow the Texans, that's even better.
Dude, let me ask you, does Jim really have anything up his sleeve when he's facing John?
I hope to God so.
They literally shared a room together. Like, he knows what is up his sleeve. Like, they take clothes out of the same closet. There's nothing up his sleeve to pull on Jim. Like, it's the worst matchup. On John. There's nothing that Jim can do to sit there and get the best of John as far as outsmarting him. He knows everything that he's going to do. It's a terrible matchup.
Bad matchup. a bad match. And Ben Johnson pulling out the fake stumble play in a meaningless game, a meaningless point of the game. Come on,
why'd you
bud.
flip your
Made
cards
that for
over?
the playoffs. That was sick. All right, next one comes from Sinner Jr. 199. He says, "Merry Xmas, fellas. Give me a Bosa rant, Dave."
You know what? I'm to the point. It's just sad. I just feel bad. Like it's just sad. He's a shadow of himself when he actually was trying. You know, I will say this. I pointed this out to Josh the other day. Have you seen Cheryl at a Joey home game? I mean, it's amazing. It's Cheryl again, always at the Niner games, never ever at a Charger game. Right? You see it on social media if you follow the Bosa family. It is funny as hell. So Joey has major problems. Number one, he's not good anymore. If you wanted to turn it on, there's no gear to shift to because he's out of gas. He just has nothing. And then at the same time, his mom doesn't even support him. You know, what do they say in the old saying that you never love anyone like you love your first? Not in that family. Nick is definitely the favorite for sure. Good Lord. And the Niners stink. What's your excuse? Joey's actually going to playoffs. Hey, let's see this year, by the way, Bosa family. Let's see you step up. Let's see when Joey's in the playoffs and Nick isn't, if that family shows up to the Charger games. And let's see Nick wear Charger gear because he owes them. Right? We've seen it for years where Joey's showing up in 49er gear supporting his brother. Let's see what happens when the shoe's on the other foot. No chance. You won't see Nick anywhere near a Charger game.
Can we talk about how Nick cursed his team? They've won 6 since he did the hat.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I saw somebody say they're 1-6 since the hat move, which is ironically his favorite holiday. So I thought that was funny. 1-6.
Oh.
Yeah, good one.
That's good stuff.
Next one here comes. This isn't star chat, but we have to talk about this. It comes from EI Abes. It says, "How do you guys feel about the Eddie Jackson signing?" So Eddie Jackson, fortunate enough that I got to play on the same team with him in college at Alabama, and Dave knows him very well too. He was awesome. Like the guy was an absolute machine with interceptions and touchdowns, injuries and punt returns, injuries and age really along the way. He's not the player he was with the Bears, and for a few years now. He just recently was cut as well, but I'm hyped, man. Like Eddie Jackson is such a cool dude. Like on a personal level, he's a really nice guy. Everybody loves him. He's a great locker room presence. It would be cool to see Eddie Jackson make some plays for this team.
Eddie owes us. Eddie owes this family, Mario. Just so you know. Like I'm bitter. Like I'm happy, but I'm bitter at the same time. Eddie got hurt Josh's last year at Alabama, and he decided to go sign with an agent the second he got hurt instead of seeing if possible he could come back for the playoffs, which he would have because he was healthy by the time the playoffs came around. But because he decided to sign with an agent, Minkah Fitzpatrick was a great cover corner in college, had to move to safety where Eddie Jackson normally played, and you would have had Minkah played corner against Deshaun Watson in the national championship game.
Mike Williams.
And it would have been 2 NFL players, which would have been tremendous. But no, Eddie got a little bit selfish and signed with an agent and jacked the entire defense in the national championship game. So, yeah, Eddie owes us. A little bitter still. Feeling so hurt.
He was one of my favorite players to ever watch on the Bears. Like that 2018 team, like he was that defense. Like the picks all the time. He is a little, sometimes, especially a little later in his career, like he was a little like home run your way or home run the other way. If he's not getting the pick, buddy's gone. But I love Eddie Jackson. I think it's a good signing. And he's a veteran. He's played in the playoffs. He kind of knows, what it kind of takes to win in those situations. I love the signing. Big Eddie Jackson fan. Will forever love Eddie Jackson.
He's like the 20th player from the Ravens we've taken, right?
Probably. Yeah, that's good trivia game. How many players have we taken from the Ravens?
All right, Mario, the floor is yours. How did
let's hear about the hair.
Go with your family?
Think about the. Let's hear about the hair. How did the hair go over?
I mean, it went over pretty fine. Yeah, like the funniest part is like one of my grandparents, like the 1,000 that I have. Like it was maybe 2 hours into her being there, and like I'm like helping them like in the kitchen or whatever, and she goes, "Honey, did you cut your hair?" And I go, "We're 2 hours in, and we're just not
2 hours in."
I was like, "All right, clock's a ticking." But that was like a funny one, and then it's been pretty good. They all think I look like Tim, the guy from Dune. I've gotten that a lot, which is tough, but I was like, okay, would have preferred someone else, but we'll eat that one. The biggest dilemma I have in my family currently, as I mentioned this, is my mother has turned into a Chiefs fan, which is
What?
highly annoying. Yes.
It is annoying.
And it's like
What?
very annoying too, because we're at lunch today, and I think they're still home. Dang it. But like it cracks me up because she's like, well, Brittany's due soon. Like we're at lunch, she's like, Brittany's due soon. I'm just sitting here going, what happened here? And then her mom, is on her, whatever number in marriages. And this guy
Wait, what? Wait,
Yeah,
hold on, slow down.
She's on her
Wait,
third.
who's the-
This is the third marriage.
For who?
Her. Yeah.
For your mother.
My
Grandma.
mom's mom. My mom's
Oh,
mom.
your mom's mom. Okay, I was about to say,
Yeah.
thrown off. Okay.
No, yeah. So this is her third go. And let's just say, like, when, she gets a new one, some history gets thrown in the garbage can. So she marries him, and we're sitting down watching the game, and she goes, I'm so upset we missed the Chiefs game today. And I was like, oh, it's not that big deal. The Chiefs aren't that excited right now. Like, they're just not a fun team to watch. And then the guy she's married to is named Frank. I don't like Frank. I can't stand the guy. They're never going to listen to this, so I don't really care. Even if he did, he knows I'm not a fan of him. And he's like, oh, and she's like, honey, Frank's a fan, so we're just all Chiefs fan now. I'm like, wow, really? Like, it threw me for a whirl. I'm like, you've been Chicago all the way through, and then this is the time we pivot?
Yeah.
Is when the
What
big
happened to
Frank
Grandpa
came
1
in?
and 2? What were their teams? Yeah, what the hell's happening?
They're gamble. Well, one was gambler, so whichever team you bet on that weekend. But he was Bears, and then Paca, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he was Bears, and then next thing you know, here comes Frank the Tank, who annoying, more annoying than hell. And then he's like Chiefs. So now I had like a house full of Chiefs fans.
Do you call him
I'm trying to
Frank or do you
watch
call him
football.
Grandpa?
I would never in my million years of my life call him Grandpa. You would have to literally light me on fire, and I still wouldn't. Would never call him Dad.
Grandpa
No,
number 3.
never.
Grandpa
Yeah,
number
I'm gonna ask a question that maybe it might be inappropriate, but I'm gonna ask it.
Okay.
Oh.
Did the other grandpas pass away or were they
Yeah.
divorces?
So it was
Oh.
Poppy was married to her. They got divorced. And then that's another fun story in a whole different realm. I don't know if I can tell on air yet, but the day that I do, gentlemen, get ready. And then Paca passed away when I was in like high school, I want to say. Yeah, when I was a junior, senior high school. And then Frank the Tank just came running in. And we've been burning in hell ever since. Kidding. Not a fan.
Dude, the fact you're Chiefs fan, dude. That is, I mean, dude.
How much does that
32
suck?
teams. It sucks.
Lisa, I
tell you,
expect
dude.
more out of her. That's ridiculous.
Dude, let me
I
tell you
know.
something. If I swear to God, dude, if I ever pass away and my wife married an Astros fan,
Oh,
I'm a Dodger fan, dude. I would haunt her for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to get over that.
oh,
Damn it. That's
I know. Dude, it sucks. Like, I was literally sitting there yesterday. I'm like, this is hell.
it sucks.
damn.
And they're
Oh,
like,
boy.
do you think they're going to do it again this year? And I was like, I mean, it looks good, guys. I mean, sure. They've won it back to back. The defense looks phenomenal. He threw for 300 yards today. Like, maybe.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that's life.
Dude, I'm dying to come to one of these family functions. I think we're gonna have to wait for you to get married before I get invited to one, but I'm dying to come to one of these.
Dude, I mean, Frank's not getting invited. I've made that clear.
Frank's gonna be there. Frank's gonna be there.
They got to make it there. That could be a while.
Oh,
If they get there, I'll probably tip my cap and go, all right, you made it. I didn't think you would. I'll take the under.
You would.
Can't wait to go in
Oh,
the other
boy.
room. My mom's going to go, why are you talking about my mother? It's like, all right, well, subscribe and like to the pod.
All right. So here's the deal on Saturday. We're going to do a post-game show. It might be a little bit not right. We normally do it as soon as the last, basically the clock ticks down. We might be 1 hour after the game ends. If you can join us after that, all right? I know it's asking a lot, but if the game ends, let's say at 1 o'clock Pacific time, expect us to come on closer to 2 o'clock Pacific time. Just bear with me. I need it. All right, I'm not going to be near a microphone and a computer, so you got to be with me. So We'll talk plenty of Charger football, but the post game show is going to be 1 hour after the game ends. So I apologize. It's 100% my fault, but I just don't have access to the microphone or computer at that point. Okay, we're all good.
We're
Hopefully
good.
All good.
Okay, we'll put it out on we'll put it on Twitter to remind you and everything else. But don't go. Where the F are these guys? I'll be lighting a cigar up hopefully, and we'll be talking Charger win. But again, Charger game is a Saturday, not Sunday. 10 a.m. kickoff Pacific time. And as you heard, all of us are predicting the Chargers to roll the Patriots. If they don't, you can blame us that we jinxed the team. 100% not our fault. Jim has to get the guys ready to go. That's what it comes down to. Okay. Hope you guys had a great holiday with your family. There was no Franks in the house, no Chiefs fans.
Yeah.
But we'll see you on Saturday after the game. Again, from Mario Heron, Josh Palais. Thanks for joining us, everybody.